What the fuck is he doing?
It's gotta be at least like 60 feet long.
What the? Yo, what is going on, guys? Here's my friend's 2016 WRX. I actually had this car for 6 months. I beat the living shit out of it. But it's a fun car. I'll give it that. So here's my friend, Mr. Pitts, and he's gonna tell you all about his wonderful WRX. Because this is one of the best cars you can buy. Little backstory, I guess, too. I actually had another Mustang. That one right there. That's what this channel is gonna focus on. And I actually traded another guy for a week for one of these. And I beat the shit out of it. And then I wanted one really bad, so I kept saying, I'm gonna trade the Mustang in and I'm gonna get a WRX. I went to probably like 5 dealerships, and my friend Dylan, who's got the orange Camaro, you probably saw, but he sabotaged me and decided to tell the guy I was deploying. And I went out to go get my registration for the car. I came back in, and then he sabotaged me, and the guy wouldn't sell me the WRX. Cool gray khaki. But besides that, let's get into this review, right? You ready? You camera shy still? All right, let's get into it. All right, tell us about your beast, I guess.
It's a 2016, like you said. I've had it for about 1.5 years, 6 months that I was deployed, and you had the vehicle. It's a lot of fun, but I wish I got a Mustang like you, I'm not gonna lie. I would have to say, probably the best parts of the car that I really enjoy are definitely the looks and the handling. For horsepower, they're definitely a little lacking from the factory. But as soon as you get it tuned, some aftermarket parts, it kind of wakes it up a little bit. But it's very fun to drive, especially on the windy, twisty roads. Well built for the most part. They have their reliability issues, and as long as you take care of them, they do their job. But yeah, fun cars to have. Definitely got to put some money into them though. They're not great from the factory.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's already actually done a bunch of stuff.
Mostly cosmetics.
So you saw if you watched the other video, I'll link it right here at the top. He threw these wheels on. We put those on. I feel like a lot of people, you don't really see this kind of colorway, I guess, on the World Rally Blue. I feel like most of the time everybody always goes with bronze.
Yeah.
That's like a big thing. Also, you see the STI wing. This is not an STI.
It is not.
This is a WRX. But another cool thing, so he kind of looks like a poser, I guess, because he's got the wing.
Okay.
But if you look inside, he's also got those Recaros too, which you'd say you're probably the guy that's got them the cheapest out of anybody out there, right?
100%.
What'd you pay for these Recaros?
I paid $800.
$800, and it came from a totaled car, right?
Yes, it came from a guy that buys totaled Subarus, parts them out to people like me that want to buy the parts. I got them for a screaming deal. The passenger side had a blown out airbag, which luckily I was fortunate enough to get stitched up. It looks great.
Yeah, let's show that off real quick.
Yeah.
Let's show the interior a little bit.
Absolutely.
So his wife actually restitched this all right here, and it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
You have to really look at it to tell.
Yep, matches the steering wheel with the leather and suede wrap on it. She sewed on as well for me.
So I'll get on the other side and show that a little bit more.
Yeah, straighten up the wheel
But
too.
I guess a little more interior wise. He put some like underglow lights that are for the footwells. He put these little caps on. The steering wheel cover, he threw that on. What else am I missing? Oh yeah, the short throw shifter. He
Yep.
threw a short throw. What one did you throw in there?
Billet Works. I went with Billet Works because they had a little bit notchier feel to them that I preferred.
How do you feel about that compared to the stock one?
Oh, it's completely different. The stock shifter's garbage. It's way too long. Literally, the shifter is way too long. It sticks way up in the air for some reason. I did have an aftermarket shift knob on there, but I didn't like how heavy it was. It kind of took away from the crispness of the shift, so I took that off, put the stock one back on. In fact, I actually still have it. Maybe I took it out. No, I still got it. This is what I had on there. And
You said that was like a weighted.
Oh, it's ridiculously heavy. It is stupid heavy. You can't even feel the shifts when this is on there, so I decided to take that off. And then as for the rear seats, they kind of just look like regular WRX seats with a little more red on them. They're not that fancy.
So they got like the Alcantara insert and then I guess vinyl.
Vinyl
you call it.
leather.
Definitely a way better upgrade than I'd say the stock ones.
The stock ones are
so this
cool.
is a premium. So if you were to get a premium over the base, the only difference is you get heated seats, you get a moonroof, and I believe you get a bigger wheel, I want to say.
You get a bigger wheel and you get the touchscreen.
Yeah, and the touchscreen's a little bit bigger, and that's it.
The base one actually doesn't have a touchscreen at all. It has a traditional just radio deck.
But that was 2015.
Yes.
2016 and up, they changed that.
Yeah.
But I believe the 2016, either 2016 or 2017, for this display, you can get like 1 inch bigger. I think that's really like the only difference. But honestly, just from driving this for a while, I'd say that the infotainment center is kind of trash. Like
yes.
Subaru needed to update this really bad. And if you've seen the new one, it looks like there's a big upgrade for the interior wise, but I know a lot of people are hating on the exterior because it looks like garbage.
Yep.
I actually like the new Civic better. But I guess getting a little more serious about the car, so we were kind of joking around before. I'd say this car actually does have a pretty special place in my heart. I would totally get one. I just can't see myself spending the money to buy one personally because I want parts for that really bad. But honestly, such a fun car, especially here in New Jersey, just because of the kind of roads we have back here. But this is our last little hangout, and he's about to go to Oregon. So he's going to beat the shit out of it on his way back to Oregon. Cross-country trip.
Yes, sir. Stock engine.
Oh, another little funny story I have, too. So when I was watching his car for 6 months, my dumbass, I decided to loosen the oil cap. And I went inside to go do something because I'd use the bathroom or I had to do something. I don't even remember. But I was inside for like an hour, came back outside, forgot I did that. And we had these like little jack stands and I figured, oh, it'll be better for that because the kind of jack I have isn't a low profile jack. And I left it unscrewed, turned the car on, and my roommate came out and said, yo, shut it off, and I had fucking oil everywhere. So, little tip, when you do your oil, make sure that's tight if you're about to start the car.
True. Engine is stock except for a cold air intake and an EGR delete. I'll get around to the TGBs eventually. But other than that, it's a stock engine with a tune. Obviously, I got a tune on it with an access port. It definitely woke the car up. The boost does not drop as hard after 5,000 RPMs. It holds it all the way to red line. But yeah, definitely stock. They're not much, but you start modding them and they get a lot more fun for sure.
Yeah, for sure. He hasn't let me drive it yet with the new access port. Obviously, every Subaru driver gets one. It definitely wakes the car up a lot. Everybody has that bad rev hang they talk about. So there's the beast itself right there.
Yep.
Here's that steering wheel cover we were talking about that his wife also stitched. So that looks good. Do you want to show, I guess, this dash, what you get with that? What kind of stuff it shows you?
Yeah, so you can turn it. Ignore my check engine lights. They're just the EGR delete.
What the fuck? What the hell?
Push the clutch in and start it, and then you can rotate the steering wheel.
Sorry, short guy problems. Gotta make sure it's in neutral. Alright, we're good. Alright, guys. So, this is what you get. 71,522 miles when you buy one. That's what they come stock. But, I'm being a dumbass. Oh, here we go. So, your miles for your odometers. So that's what you get with that button. And then you got your MPG up here. He's got a lot of Christmas tree going on right now because of his EGR stuff. So this isn't my car, so I don't really know too much about it because I haven't really messed around with this. So honestly, I don't know what I'm doing.
So most of the screen gets handled through here, but because of the check engine light, it kind of blocks some of the stuff you can do. So you gotta hold the set, I believe. I never mess with this. I always leave it on the same screen.
Sorry guys, I'm a noob car enthusiast.
Yeah, you gotta hold one of them to get it to pop up, and I don't remember which one it is. But really, this doesn't show much. It literally just cycles through basically how many miles, your MPG, and then it'll adjust whether you have your shift indicator up there, so what gear you're in. Other than that, it's pretty much all the same stuff. But it's the middle screen.
Yeah,
that
that's
shows
the
most.
cool shit.
That's
So
the one that shows.
That's
everything.
the one you really want to see.
Ooh wee!
Is the boost. Ooh. So another little thing that I gotta say too. So I drove this from here to New Jersey, or from New Jersey to New York, and on my way to New York, all of a sudden like the boost just like kicked out. Like I don't know what happened, but it just like stopped working. So I thought that there was maybe like a vacuum. What, like a vacuum?
Yeah,
leak or
we thought it
something?
was like a vacuum leak or a hose popped off or something.
So I like pulled over, checked all the hoses and stuff. Everything looked perfectly fine, and I figured maybe if I let it cool down for a little bit, like maybe everything will be fine when I start the car again and stuff. So did that, and same issue, had nothing. Like the car just felt like it was in like a limp mode, and just like it basically felt like you were stalling the car as you were moving, and it just like had no power. I took it to the Subaru dealer like as soon as I got home, dropped it off. They looked at it for the next day and then literally told me, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the car. It's perfectly fine. Got back in it and like literally has had no issues since. But that's like a side track, I guess. We'll go back into this a little bit more. But so yeah, that's your boost right there. Also your temp, your time. Don't concern about that.
Keep scrolling.
Your time again, temp, MPG, how many miles your range is.
That's your
MPG
average.
again. That shows you like the power, just like right, the power.
This one actually, it shows the angle. So like, kind of similar to like how some 4-wheel drives will have like certain angles of the vehicle's at if you're on like trails. It's kind of the same thing, but it shows more the angles that your wheels are turning and stuff like that.
So yeah, that's what that does. MPG again.
Don't forget
And
the
boost.
acceleration meter, so it'll show you how far
Yeah, how
you're
much
pushing
you,
the pedal down.
So just hitting it. Oh shit! Go back to the boost because that's all we care about anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll show this a little bit. So this is pretty basic, honestly. So your Bluetooth, obviously. Hit your home. Audio, phone, apps, settings. Your apps. Those are your apps. Not much to choose from. Settings. Just trying to show you, like, I guess how responsive it is. Audio. And that's pretty much it with it. Like, I mean, there's not really
Yeah.
much to talk about with it.
No, it's basically just your basic stuff. It's basically like a radio but with a touchscreen.
Yeah.
And then a few extra little things to it, and that's about it.
And then it's also got a camera. Which the cameras actually looks pretty nice. I don't know how it looks on the screen right now, but you can actually really see a lot with it. I believe because I drove a Limited. I was looking into buying one of those. I believe the Limited has a GPS and stuff built into it. So it's got a little bit more. And it's also got the better stereo system as well. That's actually kind of like a night and day difference.
Yeah.
But
Unlimited comes with leather seats, which are nice, but for car enthusiasts, a lot of times they don't like them because you sit up so high in the leather and you can't really adjust them very much. But they're comfortable. And the Limited comes stock, at least in these years, it comes stock with LED headlights, whereas I had to put mine in. So.
And then also with the Limited, you get the I forgot what they call it, but it's like adaptive. So when you move the steering wheel, well, when you move the steering wheel, the lights will turn.
Yeah.
So that's something else you get with the Limited.
Yep.
If anybody's never seen like an access port, I guess. So most of the time, people will like leave it on to monitor everything. So just kind of showing you that. That's what's going on with this right now. I guess everything else is kind of basic too. Your trunk. This will adjust your dim. Traction control. And then all your settings for your steering wheel. Here is your seat warmers. I don't believe all of them have this extended armrest. I think that was an option from the factory.
Yeah, it's an option. Not all of them come with
And
it.
it goes down, and then that's your storage inside. It's not very big, but that's what you get. So this has a light in here that'll shine on at night.
There you go. You gotta turn the lights on.
So a little red dim light. I know you can get them from the factory too for the footwells. If you wanted that, that's an option. Yeah, sorry guys if this isn't the most interesting. But, oh yeah, let's show them the trunk space.
Sure.
So you can hit that button, pop your trunk. So you actually get a pretty good amount of room.
Yes, the trunk is definitely helpful. It's pretty big. And the seats fold down all the way, so if you have anything long, you can put it all the way through the car.
And the biggest thing we did not say about this car, if anybody knows about Subarus, they're all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest selling points about getting a Subaru WRX. Like, the Type R came out, and a lot of people were going crazy about that. I actually drove one of those too. A very similar feeling to this, but it doesn't have all-wheel drive. And the price point is like 10K more than this. I think base for this is like 28, I want to say.
Around there, yeah.
And then a premium's like 31. So for 31, you get a lot for it. I mean, it does really good on gas. So if you want something that's a lot of fun to drive, good on gas, pretty reliable. What kind of MPG would you like? I would say when I was driving it around, I was getting like 25 to like 30 MPG,
yeah,
roughly.
I'd say on average I get about 20, but that's because I do mostly local driving. So
And because he beats the shit out of it
I do that
all the time.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's too good.
Oh my gosh. That guy was about to go through the light. Sorry about that.
Yeah, idiots. Yeah, it's a fun car. It's definitely fun. Like I said, if I knew what I know now 2 years ago, I probably would have bought a Mustang GT. I know there's stereotypes that everyone buys a Mustang GT, but overall for the money you pay and the performance you get, I will say if you're just looking for a performance car, this is not the car to go with. Unless you're ready to dump some serious money into it. But if you're looking for a good everyday driver that has great handling, relatively decent reliability as long as you treat it right, do the maintenance, it's a good car. But if you just want horsepower, straight line speed, and honestly still decent handling, the new 5.0s they're pretty impressive. They're a bargain for the performance you get. It's actually kind of ridiculous.
I forgot if we talked about it before, but I guess so. Two big things when I was looking into buying one, because I was deployed and I was just looking heavily into these cars. I find these cars so cool, but I kept debating between an STI and a WRX. So the biggest things with the STI and a WRX is you get, what do they call it, X-Drive, I want to say?
X-Drive I think is on BMW, I want to say, or is that iDrive?
Yeah, whatever it's called, it's basically
it's
to control your,
drive.
yeah, SI drive. So you can control your diff. So basically, you can control the power from the front wheels and the back wheels. So if you wanted, because it's all-wheel drive, it's supposed to have equal power to every wheel, is essentially what it's supposed to do. But with that SI drive, you can distribute more power to the rear. So I think the max you can do is like 70%.
Yes.
So if you wanted 70% to the rear, you can do that and then have 30% in the front. So you can have a little more fun doing donuts and stuff like that.
And the STIs, even still, they still have their old-ass motor in them, whereas 2015 and up WRX, they switched over to the FA20. The FA20 has less horsepower, and I believe it's still less torque, but it's a newer, refined engine compared to the EJ25, I think is what the STIs have. So you still get a little bit more turbo lag. So stock to stock, there's controversy, but I've seen videos and reviews of people saying that 0 to 60 times are actually slightly better in the FA20s on the WRX than the newer STIs, simply because the turbo hits almost immediately. Within 2,000 RPMs, you're building boost.
But it'll fall flat on its face once you start going up in the RPMs. So that's one downside about this. Also another downside is the carbon buildup. That's a big issue with this, and you have to get these walnut blasted. What do they say, like every 30 to 50,000 miles, I want to say?
I'd say about 40 is average. It can be definitely a big issue. I have not had mine done yet in my ownership. I've only put like I don't know, I want to say 5,000 or so miles on it since I've owned it. But I definitely plan on doing it. I actually have all the stuff to do it myself. I just have not gotten around to it yet. But I fully 100% believe it needs to be done very soon. Kind of a pain, but very necessary with the direct injection. There's no fuel cleaning off the top of the valves, so you got to do it. I have done a seafoam treatment on it to clean the intake manifold. That helped a little bit. But yeah, you got to keep up on stuff like that. That's a lot of the maintenance on, honestly, newer vehicles in general, but specifically on these cars because the motors can be like glass if you don't take care of them. But you definitely want to take care of the carbon buildup, make sure you get fresh oil changes, all that kind of good stuff to keep them running healthy. But so far, I've been lucky, fingers crossed. I haven't really had any major issues with it. I did break down one time. It ended up being something really silly. My map sensor on top of my intake manifold had some oil on it, which is not good.
Which is probably from when that shit happened that I was talking about before.
Yeah.
I tried to clean it as best as I could, but honestly, it kind of smelled like it was burning for a little bit.
Yeah. So got some oil on there, got it towed home, and then realized how stupid it was to get a tow when I could have just taken it out and cleaned it off, and it was fine. Ever since then, I check it about once every month or so, just to make sure there's no oil on it. So far, so good. But yeah, it's treated me well for sure. But I'd say definitely the biggest thing is stock. They're not much, but you start doing some stuff to them, all of a sudden they wake up, they become a lot more enjoyable. So
yeah, once you get the access port and you go from a stock tune to like even just like a stage 1 or 2, it definitely wakes the car up a lot more.
Yes.
I believe the one that I had traded my Mustang for that week with my other friend, I believe he was running a stage 3. And that thing was a lot of fun. And he had a blow-off valve and stuff.
Yep.
My other friends, we were messing around with the car too. But, all right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know we were kind of messing around a little bit in the beginning. I don't think I was kind of being myself with a lot of the other videos. It's kind of intimidating picking up the camera and talking. It's definitely weird, but I think I'm getting better at it, hopefully. But, yeah, so here is his WRX. I know we were kind of like all over the place with this video. It's kind of exciting talking about cars. Like, he's a real big car enthusiast like me, so I'm gonna be sad when he leaves, but yeah, here's his car. A lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
I would definitely buy one if I was a millionaire 100%. And just rally race the shit out of it because I find that shit so cool. I used to watch a lot of videos about this car just driving on the ice. Super entertaining videos if you want to just watch something cool. But you got anything else you want to say?
No.
Wow, no support for the channel.
Definitely subscribe to his channel. He's working real hard on it. He's put a lot of work into it behind the scenes that you guys don't see. So definitely subscribe to him. He wants to bring some good content, and I know when he gets home from his deployment, you're going to see a lot of that Mustang. So
yeah, I'm trying to. So I actually did all the math out, and because I can't really make any car content while I'm out there, so I have to make 38 videos in order to make a video a week, just so that I can post every week. So I'm gonna grind that hard, and I'm literally supposed to leave in a couple months, so I'm gonna work pretty hard to get those videos done. And I really don't know what I'm gonna give you, but hopefully it's decent.
yeah.
And that's kind of why I waited to even do any Mustang stuff, because I wanted to be more comfortable with the camera so that I can talk a little bit better about this car, because there's so much that I want to do to it, and I've never seen this build that I'm trying to do on this car. So I hope that's something that'll gain me some traction, because I think that's how I'm going to be known on YouTube, is for this car, hopefully. If not, I'm going to trade it in and buy the WRX, full gray khakis, my other friend's sabotage.